Yes. Hello, everyone. Once again, my name is Nicholas, and this is Dirk Boer. I just wanted to say it's one of the most important developers probably in video game history personally for me, because this person, he created Killzone Liberation. He worked on Killzone 2, Killzone 3, even Killzone Shadowfall, right? So, all right, Dirk, hello again. Can you please tell us a little bit, like, how did you join game industry? What was like the starting point from you?
Well, the starting point was actually I had to do an internship for my studies. That was in 2004. That was actually the moment that I was looking for my internship starting in 2005. And
Okay.
that was the moment that Guerrilla released first Killzone 1. And yeah, that was, of course, quite popular. So it came in the news.
Right, right.
And then it was actually my mother who forwarded to me and said,
Oh, nice.
"Hey, is this not something for you?" So at that moment, I was already doing a lot of 3D modeling in my spare time, and also programming. I always like to program actually. So yeah, I thought
All
let's give it a
right.
try.
Okay, yeah. So you never worked on Killzone 1, but have you like played the very first Killzone on PlayStation 2, or you just like heard about this game and it just, oh, let me try to join these guys?
And to be honest, I didn't have a PlayStation back then, so I only played Killzone 1 actually when I started working at the Guerrilla.
Oh, okay. So what about Halo? Have you like played Halo maybe on Xbox or any other games you played back then? Do you remember?
To be honest, I was more like a PC
Oh,
player
okay.
back then. I don't know any games from that period. I think that was the period that I was more into like Half-Life and Counter-Strike,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
and of course also GTA. So actually, yeah, it was in a way, yeah. No, I didn't play Halo or Call of Duty. I was also
Oh yeah, Call of Duty. Yeah, yeah. Because I remember back in the days when Killzone got released, it was positioned as a alternative to Halo on Xbox because it was a really big game, on Xbox. And Bill Gates, the former Microsoft person, they were like pushing Halo so much, and I remember, oh my gosh, Killzone is like Halo, and yeah, but yeah, that's good to know. Half-Life is, yeah, for sure. It's the best game, another the best game.
yeah.
So, does your parents like supported you, or maybe your friends, or they said, "Oh, why are you going, to make those games? Go find another job or something."
No, I think my parents, in a way, always supported me. I think they were pretty proud, especially, of course, when we started releasing these games, and you can come home and show to your parents, "Hey, look at what I made," and of
All right.
course, when reviews started coming in, my parents were mainly proud when I saw when they saw that.
Nice. Well, back in the days, what was your favorite game? Like, what did you play like constantly? Something maybe like you mentioned Half-Life, so maybe there was another game like during the work, like in gaming industry.
Yeah, during the work, actually, we used to play a lot of Wolfenstein Enemy Territory. I don't
Wolfenstein.
know if you know that game. Yeah, Wolfenstein Enemy Territory.
Uh-huh.
It was like I think it was a mod on Wolfenstein.
Uh-huh, yeah. So it's not Wolfenstein, it's Wolfenstein 3D, right? Like the mod.
Nah, but a later version. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what
Interesting.
it was anymore, but it was a later version, and they made a mod about that. And it was
Hmm.
like a multiplayer where you had to do objectives. So you had to like it was a little bit like Team Fortress 2 in a way.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, definitely have to take a look. Yeah, I know Wolfenstein, obvious, and especially brand new Wolfensteins. But wow, enemy territory. Okay, that's very
Yeah,
interesting.
I think it's a very niche game, but somehow at the company we really got into it. Five, so very competitive.
What are you playing right now? Like, if you play games, if you have time to play games.
I play mainly still Counter Strike, to be honest. So I don't play that much that often.
Okay.
Of course, I take a look at the. I follow a lot of game news, and I like to see what's coming out and that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
But I don't play that much games anymore. But if I do, it's usually Counter Strike, and I just
So what do you think about brand new Counter Strike 2? The Counter Strike 2, it's like the same like Counter Strike Go, Global Offense, but So what do you think? Does the game like became better since Counter-Strike 1.6? Yeah, that's my most favorite Counter-Strike, or it's like, eh? What do you think?
For me, I respect what they're doing. They try to keep quite close to the original game, in my opinion. For me, actually, I like how they.
So how they like developing like further, right? Like how they implementing that new fog, right? The new smoke system I remember they have right now.
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah. Of course, I don't play it that much that I'm really like high level. I just play it for 10 minutes yeah,
Oh,
like
okay.
maybe five
Okay.
times a week. So I'm not really that hardcore into it. But I like that they seem to really go into that competitive and try to balance things out and
But
without introducing going too far from the core of the mechanics.
but for sure you're probably waiting Half-Life 3, like we all waiting for Half-Life 3 eventually, right?
Yeah, it's coming soon,
Hopefully.
right?
Hopefully, Gabe Newell is having a surprise for us all. So yeah, it's magnificent game. So right, Dirk, can you please tell when you joined Guerrilla Games officially, when you started to work? Because I do see that in Killzone Liberation, right, when you started to already be developing this game, you used to be a technical art developer. So, and there was only two people. It was you and another guy. I'm sorry for mispronouncing. It's Papagin Jensen, probably.
Papa Janssen, yeah.
Papa
Yeah,
Janssen,
that's
yeah. So, when you joined Guerrilla Games officially, what was your very first project you've been working on?
At that moment, we were still working on Killzone 2 for the PlayStation 2. So
Not
that
three,
was
not three.
sorry.
Not PlayStation 3 because Killzone 2 came out on
No,
PlayStation
no,
3.
there was before Killzone 2 for the PlayStation 3.
Oh, okay.
Guerrilla was developing Killzone 2 for the PlayStation 2.
Wow. Okay.
And I was joining in the cutscene team, so we were doing a lot of experiments for trying to make the cutscenes. But at a certain point, quite soon after I joined, the Killzone 2 for PlayStation 2 project, was cancelled. Yeah, then actually at that moment I moved to the Killzone Liberation team.
So then, Dirk, this question is supposed to be much later, but since you mentioned Killzone 2, so you remember this famous, definitely, this famous CGI trailer when they were showing the graphics, PlayStation 3, and everybody thought, oh my gosh, this is the real gameplay. And then later they released another video, and everyone like, the graphics a little bit different. It's not worse, it's just different. So you were participating in that CGI trailer as well?
As far as I remember, the CGI version was made by Access, I think. They made also our intro movies, like the before the game started.
Right.
So if I remember correctly, they made the CGI version. I
Okay.
do remember when it was showed internally, of course.
Right. Interesting. Wow. Okay. So, but how was the overall atmosphere in the company when you was working? Do you guys had like, nowadays it's very popular to have crunch times, people, burning out and quitting and they being fired. So back in the days, how was the atmosphere in the company? Like, how do you remember that?
I actually have really good memories about that. It like back then the company was a lot smaller, so I don't know exactly how many people we were when at the beginning of Killzone 2, but I would say maybe it was like 60 people or something. And for me, it always felt like like a group of friends trying to build something together. So there were a lot of young people. We always went for drinks on Fridays.
Nice.
We played a lot of multiplayer games after work, and I have also very good memories about the crunch time. Of course, at a certain point, it's getting very difficult. But at the
Right.
beginning, you're young, you're very proud on what you're making. So yeah, I always enjoyed also the crunch time. It was like, you worked until 10 together with a group of friends, and then afterwards went around the corner,
Right.
take a beer, and then go home. Yeah, then go come back the next
Yeah.
day.
rewatched the credits at Killzone Liberation again like a couple days ago just to refresh my memory who used to work on this game. Once again, I mentioned that you being a technical art person. So the managing director of the game used to be Hermen Hulst. Hermen Hulst. So have you worked with him? With Hermen?
If I worked with Hermen?
Yeah.
Well, of course, I worked for Hermen, for sure. Yeah.
So did he participate? Like, did he come and say, "Oh, guys, show me what you did. Show me, the play demo or something"? Did he did that?
He did that a little bit, but Hermen was always more how you call it, managing the directors. So Hermen Hulst from the whole company was maybe the person that I had the least contact with.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because he became a CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, so he's like the main guy of entire video game industry right now.
Yeah. He's really good at his job. I really appreciate it. Yeah. So but, in practice, he didn't cool. Work on the game itself on that level at least. So that's.
Yeah, I know. 20 years ago, it was different era of game developing, and probably there was not that many outsource labor, right? Like today we know, maybe many companies are hiring different specialists, from other countries. So back in the days, do you remember if you guys had any outsourced labor? Maybe you were like hiring somebody, out of the country or anything?
For sure, we had some outsourcing going on. Like I said, an example, the intro movie, also from Killzone Liberation, was made by an external company, and I think it was Access. Also, some other, some other smaller teams where, for at least for Killzone Liberation, was of course always a bit limited. I think when we went to Killzone 2, the assets became a lot more complicated and bigger. And I think that was the moment that we started on a more serious level, started outsourcing asset creation.
And so let's go back a little bit to your work in Guerrilla Games when you used to be a technical art person with Mr. Janssen. I'm sorry for probably that. So did you guys did you guys had like a flexible environment, or like the bosses, your managers were try to limit your freedom of development? How, like, what was your process of working? It was like flexible or not? Not really.
I really always appreciated that from Guerrilla, that it was always a very very flat hierarchy. So it was always very easy to just go to the person to, if you wanted something to change or you were being blocked in your work, it was very easy to actually go to the directors like a Jan Bart van Beek or Michiel to actually, and they would always be open, very to listen, and they would help you actually fix the problem. So it was always a very flat hierarchy.
But can you tell me, because I watched a little bit developer diaries, you were not mentioned over there since it was mostly some managers saying, but do you remember the enemy bounty claw? It's like one of the prototype, very, very first version of Killzone Liberation. It was like a guy throwing barrels at you. And one of the developers said it was too arcade, too much arcade in it. So they switched this bounty claw guy to something else. So do you remember that decision, how you guys were switching on and off between arcade games and shooting games?
To be honest, this is the first time now. It's been a really long time that I played Killzone Liberation myself. So it's been a long time. Now you say it. Actually, I do remember that that character. But to be honest, I don't know the details anymore. It's how it usually was. Is we were building things, and sometimes you have an idea, or the game director has an idea.
Right.
You work it out, and then you see in practice, okay, this doesn't exactly work how it was in my mind, and then you had to change it. So it was quite common that actually ideas were tested out, and then when they were made, they were adjusted to fit better in the overall direction of the game.
You finished Killzone Liberation, right? Killzone Liberation, and you guys
Mm.
went to Killzone 2, right? Started to do the Killzone 2. So you switched like from handheld to PlayStation 3. So what was the difference in development? Did it like significantly changed? Like new tools, new engine, the cell core, right? PlayStation 3 had very complicated architecture. Did your work changed a lot or not really?
Let me remember.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know I'm going way too behind. Like, 20 years have passed. 20 years. Like, the game came out, Killzone Liberation, 2006. Yeah, so it's 2025, almost 2026. So, yeah.
I also have a very bad memory, so that doesn't help.
It's okay.
But I don't remember changing. It was quite a gradual process, I think. So when we finished Killzone Liberation, there was already a team working on Killzone 2. So we joined a bit later to that team.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the tools, we reused the same engine in a way. So a lot of the tools actually stayed the same. And the build was running on PC also in the beginning. So also there, we didn't really work on the not everyone had a dev kit in the beginning. It was not that different. And a big difference for me in a way was that I was working on the cutscenes. And in Killzone 2, we were still, or do I remember that correctly? I don't know actually, but I think we were rendering out the cutscenes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we were rendering out the cutscenes. So that would also mean, and I was on the cutscene team. So I was doing visual effects and tech art mainly for the cutscenes in Killzone 2. And yeah, because we were on that team, we also didn't have, we had a bit more space with how heavy things could be, like how many effects we could have on the screen, or because we didn't need to hit the 30 FPS frame rate.
Yeah, that's true. And I was wondering if it's true or not. I heard a rumor or myth that initially Killzone Liberation was supposed to be a first-person shooter on PlayStation Portable, right? But somebody changed their mind and said, "Oh no, let's do the isometric. Like let's lift the camera up and just let the character, run around." Is it true, or it was initially said no? It has to be like above the camera, above the character.
Like I said, I started when I started working at Guerrilla. I started at Killzone 2 for PlayStation 2 cutscene team. So only later I joined Liberation. At that point, I'm not totally sure how long it was already in pre-production, but at that point it was already the third-person perspective.
Already. Okay.
So it could be that in the beginning, maybe they have did some experiments with first-person perspective, but it was already quite early in the process. It was thrown out.
Okay.
So we didn't have even. So when I joined, there was not even one level really.
Even then, okay.
Not even in pre-production ready.
Okay. Last question about Killzone Liberation, and that's it. We'll be finished with that topic because I know it's like my most favorite game in my life, but yeah. So 2006. The game. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, in 2006, Liberation got released, right? And then suddenly, I remember that very well. There was 4 chapters. Riku got captured, he escaped, and then you guys releasing DLC, chapter 5 in 2007. So, can you please tell me what happened? Because it seems like in developer diaries, people were mentioning, oh yeah, it's 5 chapters, but it been released only 4 chapters. So did you guys run late? And they said, okay, let's do chapter 5 later. We have to release the game now. We have only 4 chapters. We cannot, include the 5 chapter. Or it was the first initial idea, like, okay, we will release the chapter 5 as a DLC prior Killzone 2. Do you remember that thing?
As far as I remember, actually, the DLC was always part of the plan, actually, and
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I
really included in.
Yeah, all my life I thought it's some type of mistake because Killzone Liberation finishes and I thought the chapter 4, it goes to Killzone 2. like into the very, heavy story when they attacking, Helgen and stuff. But now you're saying, no, it was the part of the plan. So it seems like Chapter 5 was like DLC. It was not because you were running late or because they changed the plans with Killzone 2. It was the initial plan. It has to be like that at the beginning.
Yeah, we were definitely just working on trying to get the 4 episodes out on time, and the DLC we didn't work on it until after we released the. So maybe the level designers were always a little bit early.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they started already on it, but the rest of the team was actually always focused on the first 4.
Well, thank you very much for that amazing, like, finally I know, the truth right now. So, okay, now PlayStation 3 era. So we all know that, PlayStation 3, it was very hard to develop games. We had like multiple, stories, and the developers even, I think, they refused to develop games for PlayStation 3. So, have you worked on cell architecture? And what was like the development process for you? How hard was it?
Well, the cell architecture, these are mainly things that are a problem for the programmers in a way, for the I call the engine programmers. So as artists and tech artists and even the gameplay programmers, they were usually quite shielded off that part of the system. So I know, of course, I talked to my friends that were working on it, and of course they explained me why sometimes you had a request and they had to explain, yeah, I can do that, but it's gonna take a lot of work because we're having these limits with this architecture. So that happened, but usually we were shielded off for the tech art and the art team. For the programmer, the engine programmers, it was pretty hard.
And when you were transitioning from Killzone 2 to Killzone 3, because I know that you worked on Killzone 3 as well, did the developing process change? Because you had the same engine, right? You had the same platform. So did anything change significantly since Killzone 2, or not really? When you were doing Killzone 3?
I think if I remember correctly, of course there were always updates to the engine.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly, we did some new particles systems. That we could have more particles on screen. The streaming was a big part, and the engine part, if I remember correctly. So instead of a real loading screen, we could load it in automatically and then have a small cutscene to hide the transition. And we had some like quality of life, how you call it. It's like sometimes during Killzone 2 we had to do a lot of repetitive tasks, and for that we introduced some new systems to work on them.
All right. And during this period, do you indie game industry is very small, but Steam was already been released, and some PC project has been released as well. So have you already had the thought to create your own game, like during that period of time?
Yeah, for sure. So I was doing a lot of I was always doing a lot of small game development in my free time. I actually also made like a Killzone 2D version.
Really?
So it was like a Killzone platformer.
Where
but
I can
of course,
where I can see that?
I could only show that internally.
Okay.
but I was already making games anyway at that point.
Okay. So, but any like serious progress? Like you had a concept, let's say you had a demo and you wanted to like release it, or it never reached that point?
At that point, no. I was just I was my whole mind was already in games during the day, and often also crunching. So that was I had enough creativity. I could
Okay.
I could also release in my work.
Okay, in your profile, I saw that you worked on Shadowfall as well. So my next question is the transition from PlayStation 3 to PlayStation 4, new era, new generation. So what was the developing plan of Killzone? Like, do you remember bosses were going, on and off? Because the Killzone sales was pretty bad already, and everybody thought that, okay, maybe it's time to switch to Horizon. Because Horizon already being in development, Horizon Zero Dawn. So how you remember the Shadowfall? Tell us, like, how did you develop the Shadowfall? What was your role, was it there?
Well, as I remember correctly, Shadowfall was so we started pre-production on Shadowfall. So it was the pre-production phase, and at that point in time, there's just a very small group of people was actually really thinking about the core of the game, the game mechanics, the story, and these kind of things. And then you have a lot of artists and tech artists like me who
All
were
right.
able, at that moment, we didn't have a lot of pressure, but we had a lot of free time to do experiments and that kind of stuff. So it was really still pre-production phase. And that was happening, actually simultaneously between Killzone 4 or Shadowfall
Mm-hmm.
and Horizon. I was mainly working on Shadowfall, and I did a little bit on Horizon, and that was actually the moment that I personally quit Guerrilla because it was for me, it was becoming a bit too big, and
Mm-hmm. Right.
I had the feeling I started to do, you start to become a smaller and smaller part of a bigger thing, and that was not really for me. So that was the moment that I left them.
Yeah,
And
that actually my
then
next question regarding
um
quitting, but very quickly, you played Shadowfall.
yeah,
Like, have you played this game, Shadowfall, Killzone, after
I
release?
I played it a little bit. So after I quit Guerrilla, I came back for about half a year to help with also with the cutscene visual effects. So then I played it a little bit, but after that I haven't played it, to be honest. Then.
So why do you think why Shadowfall failed? Like, what was the problem? The main problem?
I don't exactly know that, but in my feeling, at least when I read people's emotions and reactions, also about the Reddit thread, I think a lot of maybe it went too far away from the original game, the more gritty and more dark ways that the people were more looking forward to that. Yeah, or the other way around. It could also be if you look at Horizon that maybe people were looking for a more cheerful world. To be honest, I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, I think Shadowfall it's really bad game. I'm sorry. Like, I like the visuals. Definitely, the visuals is fantastic. Like, the story is very arguable. I don't like the story. The gameplay, I don't think so. It's changed that much because we already had Call of Duty Black Ops 2. We already had Halo 3. We already had so many very different first person shooting games. And when I played Shadowfall, I was like, okay, they've been working on it for how many years? And then I played Horizon, and I was like, wow, Horizon is a really good game. It really has different style, different sense, and it's more bright. It's not that
You didn't
dark.
like,
Yeah.
mm, but you didn't like the game, how it felt, or
Yes, how it felt. It was really uncomfortable. I remember the gameplay, because it's on controller, right? And I'm mostly also PC gamer, but on controller, I really like to play on controller. Don't get me wrong. It just felt
mm,
very, not so good. Nothing changed since Killzone like 3, and I consider Killzone 2 is like one of the best shooting games as well on PlayStation 3. Like nothing, even Resistance, even like Infamous, they're nothing in comparison to Killzone 2. Like my personal opinion. Yeah, because it's just
mm.
fantastic game. Yeah, but Shadowfall, I don't know. It's just I don't like this game.
I know there was also, I remember there was also criticism. Be honest, that was always the case. Like also at the end of Killzone 2 and Killzone 3, like because people are working on it for a really long time, like morale always goes a little bit lower.
All right.
Like the whole team, like, oh yeah, and then suddenly like the last couple of months, everything comes together, and then the reviews come in, and then okay, actually we made something that is really nice.
Okay, Dirk. So upon quitting Guerrilla Games, right? You said you came back for half a year. You worked with them. So after that, have you thought to create your own brand new studio, or you wanted to join someone? What you were doing back then?
When I quit Guerrilla, I tried. I applied for one job at Rockstar for also a senior visual effects artist. I think it was even a lead visual effects artist, but that was a little bit. I was just coming out of a crunch time, and I was in the not in the mood anymore to work like so many hours. I think I was also not really like the manager type of person, so that didn't. I didn't got hired there. And after that, I actually started. At that moment, I had some idea for like a fantasy sports platform, so a little bit like DraftKings.
Okay.
And that's actually the moment I started building my my other my software company. It's called Pools.com, and that's like like a fantasy sports platform where friends can join in a group, and then they can play fantasy games together, and for fun in a way.
So and that sport games, have you worked on a Unity engine, or you had your own engine?
So that was all web based. So actually, since 2012, I was mainly doing web based platforms, so software as a service. I did start already on playing with Unity, but only I think until 2019, when I really started working on Ranger Commando.
The next question was like just general, yeah. So Ranger Commander, like when I saw that trailer and then screenshots that you post on Reddit. Yes, by the way, quick thing, how I met you and how we ended up doing this interview. I just, by some mistake, I saw a guy, Dirk Boer, posting a Killzone Liberation thread saying, "Hey guys, I have a game that looks like not exactly like, but like Killzone Liberation inspired. So please, put in wishlist." And I went to that Steam and I was like, all right, I'm gonna give you all my money. Just give me that game. Please just give me that game, because it looks like, Killzone Liberation. So tell me, like, how that Ranger Commander came to your idea, like when you started, thinking about this game.
I started already thinking about this game like a long time ago. I think it probably was 2014 or something like that. I was making it in XNA. It was a platform from Microsoft for developing games. In the end, they stopped that platform. And then, I didn't work. I just sometimes, when I was getting tired of working on my software as a service business, I started working on the games in the evening. Yeah, so I was working on it in XNA, and then at a certain point, I started migrating it to Unity. But there was always something, I was doing my day business, and then sometimes I was working on it during the weekend or in the evening hours. Since 2019, I started working a bit more on it. And actually the last 2 years, I started actually doing sort of like all my evening hours and all my free time working on it.
So do you have a team, or who's helping you to develop Ranger Commando? Or everything by yourself?
I'm mainly...
Everything by yourself?
I'm making Ranger Commando, all by myself. And
so what about, let's say, sounds, like maybe music, some voices? Do you do this as well, or?
No. That's a good question, actually. So many of the 3D models I make myself. I do buy some assets from the asset store. For the music and the sounds, I use I use a sound library actually. So that's really nice. And then I mix it and try to tweak it a bit. So, yeah.
Do you know how long will be the game? roughly?
So the game is going to be a procedural generated game.
Okay.
So there's going to be like random generated missions.
So it's roguelike.
It is sort of roguelike, yeah.
Yes, the best genre, yeah. Yeah.
So I'm making this game. It's based on it's very much inspired on a game from the late 80s. It's called Airborne Ranger.
Okay.
And so the idea is actually that it's something when you have a very busy day, you can just play it for 10 or 20 minutes to just release some steam and then go do your other business again. So I want to make a very like random generated level, so you always have a bit of fresh content. You can blow off your steam and then you can go back to whatever else you were doing. So it's meant to be like more played as a small small sized than
something
5,000
like
people.
something like Vampire Survivors but better, right? Because it's like Killzone Liberation, yeah. Yeah. So I know that
I can get the
we will definitely
1%
Dirk.
of their success.
Of course, yeah. So Dirk, I know that your genre that you picked up, like asymmetric single player action shooter, it's very unique. Like the only game that I kind of know close to it is, maybe you know this game, it's a recent game, The Ascent. It's called The Ascent, and I think it's from guys from Poland. And this asymmetric game is nothing unique in it. I don't like this game, but about your game, have you thought to make a multiplayer, or maybe some interesting story thing, or just strictly like roguelike? Or
it is going to be a bit more roguelike, so it's going to be relatively light on story.
Mm-hmm.
Because also here I want to, so in a way I just want you to give a reason, so there must be enough story so you have a bit of a reason to play these missions, and to not feel too bad when you're shooting up all these enemy soldiers, so there needs to be a very evil enemy. So there's going to be a little bit of story for that. I am actually implementing co-op multiplayer.
Oh, nice.
So I'm trying to get it is a lot of work to get it in, but I'm trying to get it. My goal is to actually make it multiplayer co-op.
Yeah, that's because for me also, coming back to Killzone Liberation, I don't know if you remember or not, but multiplayer, I think it was the strongest part in Killzone Liberation. Not just cooperative, but the I think it was like 4 against 4 people. It was online multiplayer, by the way, I remember. And it was you have to also conquest something, kill each other team, but it was like so strategic and tactical, because you could see the entire battlefield and you have to hide, you have to pick up a gun or throw a grenade, and it seems like so easy for me. And I was like, does anyone ever will do the same game again? So that's why I was like asking regarding multiplayer, because maybe in the future you can make a multiplayer and just resurrect, Killzone Liberation multiplayer, technically. So it will be very nice.
I would love to do that actually. So my goal is first co-op, because it's a little bit easier to also, people are not going to cheat and that kind of stuff.
Right.
But I would love to also introduce like a team-based multiplayer. It would be great idea actually.
Have you we're already wrapping up, by the way, but what engine have you considered before starting your game? Have you thought about Unreal Engine, Unity, something else? Like, what was your thoughts on engines?
Yeah, so I started in XNA, and the thing is, I'm already from both at Guerrilla. I was working in C#, so I was doing tool design. So I made tools to help to let the artists work more efficient. And I was already working in C#. And that's also a language what I really wanted to work in for my own game. So that's how I ended up actually at Unity, because that's they have the C# as a programming language.
So what would you
tried Unreal at that moment, to be honest?
Never tried Unreal. Please don't, because I think all new games, yes, they're very beautiful. Unreal Engine is definitely it's gorgeous engine. When you launch, I don't know if you know like the game Silent Hill 2, what recent games was like coming out, like Wu-Chang, Souls-like games. But the problem with Unreal Engine, personally for me, all games look the same. Like they all look the same. They're all beautiful, but can you make the game not beautiful, but this game will be working, on any computer, like maybe on the cell phone, I don't know, on Steam Deck, everywhere. I need that game because I don't care about graphics. I care about gameplay. Many people think, oh, Killzone Liberation is such an old game. It's true. It's a very old game. The graphics are, outdated. But the gameplay, the idea of Killzone Liberation is fantastic. Just fantastic.
Yeah. Gameplay is very important. Yeah.
So what would you recommend to those people that would like to join video game industry? What you can tell them?
I think the best thing you can always do is make your own projects. So you have to get experience. You have to build a portfolio. Also, maybe it has changed since after I left the AAA industry, but it was always like your education was far less important than the things that you could show. So you need to build up experience, and that's the main
good
part.
Yeah, that's very important because many people think, oh, let me install Unity. I'm gonna watch YouTube guides and I'll make, indie horrors, what they have, like survival like thing, and in Steam there's like how many games? Like 18,000. I was checking today. Last year it was like 19,000 games came out in Steam. So it's
a little bit scary.
Yeah, it's huge competition, and I know it's very hard for developers like you, other people, to go into recommendations. So this is why I also thought, like, okay, I have to do this interview because I have to, promote you, not your personality, right? But your project. Because, I don't want to play, those survival horror indie games. I love this genre. I like old games, but I want unique games. I want different games. So can you maybe share a little bit? If you don't want to share, it's okay. I can cut it out. But how's the wish list looking right now, Dirk? Like, how many wish lists do you have, roughly?
The wish list go. So I don't know what the benchmarks are. I know a little bit what the benchmarks are, but it's at the moment it goes pretty well. So I have 6,000 wish lists. So there is for sure some traction.
Okay.
Marketing is very difficult for me, so it is. Yeah.
Are you not scary? Are you not scared to mention in your, in Game Ranger Commando that, you've been ex-developer of Killzone? Do you think it will harm your project, or you just don't want to mention anything regarding your personality in Steam?
That I didn't put it on Steam, you mean?
Yes, because I'm watching at Steam. I have another monitor. I'm sorry that I keep looking, left and right. I'm just rereading it again. I see that it's gonna be in the fourth quarter of 2025, and it's like about terrorist organization, and this is it basically. That's very very short, review.
I didn't actually think about it to maybe mention it there. I don't know. Could work. I don't know actually.
Yeah, because I'll be telling, when I will be releasing this interview, I'll be telling, you are ex-developer, legendary ex-developer of Killzone, Killzone Liberation. Because no, seriously, PlayStation 3 era, it's like golden era. It's like the games were like so impressive. They're like cinema, Nowadays, what we have Call of Duty, yes, Battlefield 6. Okay, Battlefield 6, but they are all multiplayer. They're not about story. They're about, just like you said, coming from work, you just, shoot someone and go sleep, right? But Killzone was like, it's very deep story, very good gameplay.
Yeah, it's very epic.
Yeah, it's very epic. It's about, the future, like Warhammer 40,000. I don't know if you, like Warhammer 40,000, but it's something like that, about the bad future of humanity.
Yeah, I would one time first gonna make a Ranger Commando, but I would love to make a game once to have the same the real story and go deep with the story. So that would I really would love to make.
All right, well, Dirk, the final question. The final question, I'm always asking that to everyone. So, your top 3 video games in your life. What was like top 3 games?
Number one is Inside. You know that?
Of course, Limbo, from those who created Limbo.
Yeah,
also.
exactly. Yeah.
It's a genius game. Okay, next one.
I think number two is gonna be Half-Life 2 or Half-Life 1. Difficult.
Half-Life 2, yeah, for sure. And what's the last one?
To name something else on Half-Life on the number 3, I would say GTA San Andreas.
Oh, GTA San Andreas. My most favorite GTA, you will be laughing, but it's Liberty City Stories on PlayStation Portable. That's my most favorite.
Ah.
You know why? Because it's very short. It's very short. It's very simple. I know San Andreas and Vice City, and GTA 4 is my favorite too, but they all so big. You have to, I don't know, you have to have time for it. But PlayStation Portable, I don't know.
Back then, I did have a lot of time. So I was
yeah, that's true. That's true.
I had seeds of time.
Okay, all right, Dirk. I'm just gonna stop our recording. I just want to thank you very much. Please don't disconnect. I'm just saying thank you all in front of everyone that you had time chatting with me and sharing your stories. It was very important for me. Thank you very much. And I'm wishing you a good luck with your project. And actually, are you going to send the copies to curators, Steam curators, anyone, so they can review your game before?
I would like that. You also play games when you're
all the time. I'm playing games too often.
I would love to send you a key.
Okay, perfect. And I'm a curator. Well, I'm asking because I'm a curator as well on Steam.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Yeah. The whole marketing side is very new to me, but sounds like a great idea. I would love it.
Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you. And I'm stopping recording. Okay, yep, stop.